So, recently, I just watched Space Jam: A New Legacy, or what I'm going to be calling it in this video, Space Jam 2. But before I talk about Space Jam 2, I feel like I need to talk about the first one before talking about the sequel that, what we've been waiting for 25 years, I think. Anyways, the only reason of why the first Space Jam movie even existed was because of a commercial featuring Michael Jordan and Bugs Bunny. And that's how Space Jam was made. In my opinion, the first Space Jam movie wasn't that great, honestly. It had a stupid story and pretty bad dialogue. But at the same time, it has that 90s charm that basically for kids who grew up in the 90s is literally a guilty pleasure to many, and I can definitely see why. I mean, seeing a movie with Michael Jordan teaming up with the Looney Tunes was something really cool back then. And it manages to still feel fresh and actually pretty enjoyable throughout the entire movie. It's not good. It's not a good movie at all, but it's definitely a guilty pleasure to many. But with the sequel, it seems to be a bit of a different story. Now, before I actually talk about this movie, there are two ways that reviewers have been talking about this movie. Either it's one, how it does as a sequel to the original, or if it actually feels like a movie instead of a cash grab. Now, in this video, I am going to try and do both of them, because why not? But before I actually do that, let's actually talk about the story for this movie. So the movie starts off with LeBron being like 9 or 12 years old, and his mom drops him off at a basketball game that he's supposed to attend, and one of his friends gives him a original Game Boy because his friend got a Game Boy Color. So he starts getting into like the Game Boy because it's like a Bugs Bunny game. But then his coach gets angry at him, saying like, what the hell is this? Play some basketball, and that's what he does. And then after that, he loses the game, and his coach gets really angry at him, and he tells LeBron that the reason why he might have lost was because of the Game Boy. And I'm not joking here, guys. LeBron literally throws away the Game Boy. Well, there goes $90 down the drain. Anyways, we are in present time, where we see LeBron playing basketball with his two sons, and one of his sons wants to be like a game designer, and he wants to go to E3 camp instead of going to basketball camp. No, that is not a joke. That is actually real in this movie. But after that, LeBron brings his son to Warner Brothers because Warner Brothers wants to like show LeBron something, and it's like a streaming service called Warner 3000 where LeBron is like in everything, and LeBron tells them that it's like the most stupidest thing he have ever seen. So the villain, OG Rhythm, aka the guy who took down my Tom and Jerry video, literally gets angry and decides to kidnap both LeBron and his son. And the only way they can get back home is if LeBron plays basketball. So Algorithm decides to drop LeBron to Looney Tunes World, and in the Looney Tunes world, nobody's there except for Bugs Bunny. And the reason why is because all of Bugs Bunny's friends were told by Algorithm that there was way more to see than just being Looney. Like, there are way more Warner Brothers franchises that they can be in. And Bugs was the one that was left alone in the Looney Tunes world because, like, it was a world for him. So everyone left except for Bugs Bunny. And what Bugs and LeBron do is decide to steal Marvin the Martian spaceship, and they go get everyone. And remember that Muppets movie? that came out in 2011 and how they have to get everyone back just so they can start a show, and how they always have emotion to them. Well, that's kind of the same thing with Space Jam 2, except that this time with no emotion. So they get everyone, and of course they play basketball. So that way they can bring LeBron and his son back home. So before getting into the things that I liked from this movie, I think it should be better if I actually get the bad stuff out of the way, since I just feel like I should just talk about that, since that's what everyone's talking about. So the first thing that I want to get out of the way is that this movie has a big pacing issue. And mostly the reason of that is because of the relationship of LeBron and his son. Now, what I have seen from a lot of reviews about Space Jam 2 is that the relationship between LeBron and his son are like the most sweetest part of the movie. And while yes, that is true, I feel like they just take really long. Like they take like 30 minutes. 30 minutes. And they still do this, especially during the basketball game. Oh yeah, and speaking of the basketball game, wanna know how long it actually takes to get to the basketball game? An hour. An entire hour. And how long does it actually take for the basketball game to actually finish? A whole hour. Yes, folks, this movie is 2 hours long. I mean, the pacing is just so slow in this movie, to the point where I ask myself, when is this movie going to end at all? Also, the villain for this movie, Algie Rhythm, is just really forgettable and not memorable in the slightest. I mean, I know that's the same thing with the original villain for the first Space Jam movie, but I feel like the villain for Space Jam 2 is just way more forgettable. Okay, now I am going to talk about the main reason of why people really hate this movie. All the cameos and references to Warner Brothers and their franchises. And honestly, I can see the reason why people hate this a lot. But to be fair here, I actually find this to be entertaining, especially when LeBron and Bugs try and get all the Looney Tunes back. But yeah, it can get pretty annoying at the same time, because most of the time they just appear way too often. But most of the time when the characters from other Warner Brothers properties are shown off, it's mostly shown at the end of the movie when they are playing the basketball game. Okay, now it's time for me to actually talk about the stuff that I actually enjoyed about this movie, like for real. Now, what I did enjoy about this movie was the 2D animation. You know, it's really nice to see a 2D animated movie once in a while shown off in the big screen. And I enjoyed the CGI, even though a few characters can look a little bit odd. But the thing that really sucks about the animation is that one of the animators did not get credited at the end credits. And he literally said that he worked really hard in the summer of 2019. And he's just really pissed about it. And I don't blame him. I mean, can you imagine working so hard for something and then you don't even get credited for? That really sucks. And I hope that that doesn't happen again with another Warner movie. But yeah, that's about it, honestly. So, Space Jam 2 as a sequel to the first Space Jam movie doesn't do a bad job. But as a movie, it feels like Get Ready Player One, but with LeBron James and the Looney Tunes in it. That's basically it. But, in my opinion, this movie was not a good movie. It was a soulless cash grab and, well, basically a mess. But you know what? I had a good time watching this movie. Seriously, I'm not even joking here. I had a really good time, to the point where I even laughed a lot of times. Not because the jokes were funny, but because I was just waiting to see what other stupid things were gonna happen in this movie. But in a good way, you know what I mean? And you know what? For that, I give this movie a 4.5 out of 10. Now, I know that that might be a low score, but trust me, I could have given this movie a way worse score. And you know what? I would still say go watch the movie. As a matter of fact, I would say go watch both of the Space Jam movies. And let me know what you guys think about them. Let me know which one do you think is better. And besides, both of these movies are on HBO Max, so go knock yourself out. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.